Hindi na po tama yun. Ang naririnig namin sa ground, isabi nila, yung ibang nakokolekta is ibibili daw ng mas bago na baril. Kaya nga po may kinokolekt kasi yung mga luma is papalitan ng mas bago. Oo. So, isang nakikita namin na tulad ng sabi ni Honorable Governor sa Kortan is walang katapusan na gulo dahil sa hindi pagiging makatotohanan. Ang pangatlong problema po dito na magiging third party ng ng negotiation. Anong mangyayari sa mga member ng MILF or mga Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces na sarili nila yung baril? Kasi doon sa pinresenta ng MILF na 40,000 if I'm not mistaken, totoo po yan. Yan po ang baril ng organization. Pero sa dami ng member ng MILF, ang ibang baril is hindi po pagmamay-ari ng organization, kundi pagmamay-ari ng bawat civilian na MILF na may kaya na naging member siya ng MILF. So, suma total po, Madam Chair, mas maraming baril yung MILF na sarili nilang baril yon, hindi pagmamay-ari ng organisasyon. So yan po yung pinapatulungan po namin kung ano po yung mangyayari dyan. Isosurrender po ba yan ng mga sariling yung may-ari? Baka magkagulo po yung pamunuan ng MILF sa kanilang mga elemento sa baba. Kasi sabihin ng elemento, ginamit lang kami noon. Ngayon nakuha nyo na yung gusto nyo. Binaliwala nyo kami sa ere. Ang pinaka-crucial po dito, ang pinaka-critical po sa side po namin sa local government unit, Madam Chair, yung electoral code po. Balikan ko po yung sabi ko kanina, nung time ng negotiation, halos lahat po kaming Bangsamoro is involved. Mapadato, mapabay, civilian, government employee, politician, consider yan na supporters ng MILF. Nung ninanais natin na magkaroon ng progresibong pamumuhay sa BARMM, magkaroon ng government ang Bangsamoro. Pero ngayon, kung kasali kami noon sa paghahangad ng isang gobyernong matiwasay sa isang rehiyon, bakit ngayon ginagawa ang electoral code? Wala po kaming kaalam-alam. Baka yung mga ginagawang code dyan, mga ginagawang electoral code dyan is against po yan sa amin. I hope na magawan po ng solusyon sa LMP President ng Maguindanao del Sur na sana sisiyasatin po ng mabuti yung electoral code na ginagawa. Kasi nararamdaman at nakikita rin po namin yung ibang copy na yung electoral code is pabor lang sa kanila. So, yung mga itong mga sinasabi ko po sa inyo is hindi po ito dahil sa masama si BARMM. Lahat naman tayo is gustong maging mapabuti. Pero I hope na marinig ng bawat isa yung mga lapses, yung mali ay maituwid at maging dahilan po ito ng mas malakas at mabuting pagkakaunawaan at pagmamahalan natin dito sa buong rehiyon ng BARMM. Maraming salamat po. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Congressman Edyong.
Yes, Madam Chair, I think I believe the committee extended invitation to the BARMM leadership. I believe they have sent a representative from the BARMM. Maybe hear from him just to give
Minister
extend to him the courtesy. Former mayor of Cotabato City, now a minister of BARMM, one of the ministers of BARMM, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Congressman Ayo, Mr. Chair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, I really thank the chair for calling this meeting, which I would hope that it would be with the presence of all the stakeholders. But just the same, I consider this as a majority of our stakeholders. And I see it as a whole nation talking about peace. And therefore, as a member of the leading organizations that waged the war for several decades, I could just thank the national government leadership and this August body for recognizing the rights of the Moro people, for listening for the clamor for peace of the majority of the Filipino people. Otherwise, this war would have dragged on until these days. But let us thank also the leadership of the revolutionary organization for accepting the peace, even though it is at some point uneven in the sense that some or many of the agreements that we have signed have not been implemented. But just the same, for the sake of peace, we accepted it. We recognize and praise the leadership of the armed forces of the Philippines for listening, for being candid and understanding in accepting also the difficulties of the members of the revolutionary organizations. For example, we're talking about the secrecy or divulging the number of armed combatants. We could only thank the leadership of the OPAP and the Armed Forces of the Philippines for respecting this call for secrecy or non-divulgement of the members, because it is important. And besides, it is a law that that Congress created itself. The commissioning and transparency is a law. So we are talking here as a nation for peace, and I will not oppose, I will not comment on the commentaries of everybody here regarding the alleged non-performance of the BARMM. But I think we're only here for a transition of 3 years. And we have been in government for several decades, centuries, and we're still a nation of poor people. And BARMM has only received only so much. I'm not counterattacking. But government has been existing for a long, long time. And our people are still poor. Thank you very much.
Can we hear from the PNP? Any statement?
Yes, Madam Chair, good afternoon po. I am Police Brigadier General Manuel B. Peralta, the Director for Operations of the Philippine National Police. And if I may read the statement of our organization. To the Honorable Chairperson of the Special Committee on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity of the House of Representatives, Honorable Shernee Tan-Tambut, other members of the Honorable Committee, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Philippine National Police would like to express its gratitude for inviting us in this congressional hearing on Philippine peace process and current situations in the BARMM provinces and their vicinity. For 4 decades, thousands of lives have been lost and millions of residents have been displaced due to internal armed conflict in Mindanao. These incidents of violence have cost the nation billions of pesos that could have been spent on much needed basic services and infrastructure. The central government is not deaf to the cries of the Bangsamoro people for self-determination or self-governance. Even with much challenges, our government was able to pass into law Republic Act number 11054, otherwise known as the Organic Law for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. It was an observation then that if proper autonomy is granted to the region, insurgency groups would have no reason to engage with the central government, as their grievances could be brought up with the local government. As Jose Lorena said, the Bangsamoro Organic Law will put an end to the conflict because revolution movements are in agreement with it. It will put an end to the marginalization that we have, and it will provide an effective government of the region. It should be recalled that prior to the passage of Republic Act number 11054, a final peace agreement between the government and the MILF, known as the Comprehensive Agreement on Bangsamoro, was signed on March 27, 2014, fully fleshing out the terms of the framework agreement and annexes. Under the agreement, the MILF would turn over their firearms to a third party, which would be selected by both parties. The MILF consented to the decommissioning of its armed wing, the Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces, and as a result of the agreements and annexes, the Bangsamoro local government has risen. With the enactment and ratification of Republic Act 11054, the existence of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority, and the creation of the Police Regional Office BARMM, the Bangsamoro government now holds the political power in the region under the auspices of the national government, particularly as regards maintaining its primary responsibility on the security aspect. With the foregoing, Madam Chair, we call on the Committee on Peace and Order of the Bangsamoro Transition Authority to work hand in hand with the Police Regional Office BAR of the PNP to deter the presence of the BIFF and other criminal elements within and near MILF communities to pave the way for the normalization program in the Bangsamoro. Moreover, Madam Chair, we call on our MILF brothers to respect the agreements and annexes that brought about the creation of the Bangsamoro government. It is only by doing so that we can attain true and everlasting peace in the region. Our organization, the Philippine National Police, doesn't want another Lieutenant Samson ambush, the COP of Pampatuan, Maguindanao, happening when our police forces are just implementing the regular law enforcement like serving of warrant of arrest in non-MILF camps and much more in non-MILF communities. Finally, the PNP reiterates its full support to the efforts of the President in his commitment for the completion of the deliverables during the transition period until the holding of elections for the 80-member Bangsamoro Parliament on May 2025. This is all, Madam Chair, and a good day to all.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who attended this meeting. Governor Tan.
Tungkol po dito sa peace na ito na napagkasunduan. Na sana lagyan na natin, let us put an end to this problem about non-coordination. In fact, there were several occasions where I told the leadership of the MILF that not to repeat the mistakes of other former rebels who became leaders of the army. No less than the former president, the late President Aquino, who said that it was a failed experiment. So ito, we do not want this to become another failure. Our people have suffered so much already. Funds, never mind about money, but tears, blood, and lives. Orphans and widows. How many are they? Do we still continue to fool ourselves? Please, those who are from the outside of the BARMM, do not help or do not assist people who would like to fool us. So, ayaw na namin kasi nakita na namin so much, hindi lang property. Now, development in our Bay Area has been set back by not 10, 20 years, hundreds of years compared to the rest of the nation, the country. So, ganito pa rin ba tayo? Now, did anybody tell you to go to the hills? Nobody asked you to go to the hills. We did not like the war in the south, but we suffered. Now, we do not want to suffer some more, especially the generations after us. We also would like to see them to be at par with the rest of the Filipino nation. Kaya sana tama nito. That is my appeal. Kahit na, that is why Sulu never wanted to be part of this BARMM. In fact, we voted against inclusion. But the case is still before the Supreme Court. And we hope that the Supreme Court will decide on this. We want we are appealing to the Supreme Court to resolve this case that we filed before the court. Na hindi naman kami bumoto. We voted no. So ngayon, everybody wants to get out. You see? Yan ang sinasabi natin. So anyway, maraming salamat, Madam Chair, and thank you to all of the participants here.
Thank you, Governor Ishmael Sali. You are recognized.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to everyone, especially the committee chair on Peace, Conciliation, and Unity, served by Madam Shernee. Ano lang, gusto ko lang malaman at saka gusto ko inform ng lahat na province of Tawi-Tawi ay walang problema. Doon sa implementation po ng BARMM, kasi tulad po ng sinabi ni Honorable Muslim Sima, almost 100 years na ang Southern Philippine, Mindanao. Kung i-compare mo doon sa nagawa ng BARMM, napakalaki. Kasi ang pinaka-importante, yung peace na binigay sa bangsa Muslim in the Southern Philippines. Hindi walang katumbas na proyekto. Kahit pabigyan pa tayo ng maraming proyekto, pag walang peace, wala ring magandang mangyayari. Kaya sa amin sa province of Tawi-Tawi, ang medyo hindi lang maganda yung katulad yung sinabi ng kapatid na governor na mahina lang ang implementation. Pero sa implementation ng ibang project, satisfied po kami kahit maliit. Ang importante, pinaka-importante, binigay ng Philippine government sa bangsang Moro ang yung pag-administrative ng farm. So yun ang pinaka-importante, walang katumbas na halaga dito sa mundo. Kaya magpasalamat tayo. Hindi tayo nag-sacrifice ng dugo. Naglaban lang tayo dito sa yung papel na pinaglalaban natin na kamit yung tulad ng sinasabi natin na bangsang Moro. Salamat doon sa information na binigyan ni Muslim Ma'am. So doon naman sa sinasabi natin, hindi magkatugma yung 40,000 at saka yung baril na sinasabi. Siyempre, hindi talaga magkatugma. Alam ng lahat ng mga island province, sa gira ng MNLF, yung mga unang panahon, sumasama yung walang baril sa paggira. Alam yan Brother Kasakor. Alam yan. Kaya hindi kami na parang na shock din sa hindi magkatugma yung may baril at saka yung wala. Kasi kahit itak, sumasama yung mga kapatid natin, basta doon sa sinasabi nila, dahil sa tatlo na mission na para sa hula, para sa agama, at saka para sa riot. Yun lang. Kasi ang struggle ng lahat, mayroon lang kaming konting sentiment doon sa sa amin, sa Tawi-Tawi. Yung dalawang organization, MNLF at saka MILF, ang palagi yung sinasabi, ang battle cry na struggle, Islamic. Kaya minsan, dumating ang Islam dito sa Pilipinas, doon sa Simonot. Pero pag celebration ng Islamic, kahit hindi binigyan ng pansin. Kaya sabi ko, kung hindi dumating dito yung nag-sacrifice na kapatid natin Muslim, ginamit natin sa revolution na Islamic, parang hindi binigyan ng nandoon ang yung map ng masjid sa municipality of Simonot, nandito yung New York ko. So, sa ibang siguro mayroon mag-represent sa akin dito sa Badin, galing sa mga mayor, para malaman natin kung ano talagang nangyayari dito sa ground. Pag sinabi ko na maganda ang implementation, doon sa baba, hindi naman. Kasi yung ibang presentation, hindi naman ako nag-disagree doon sa presentation ng iba. Kasi mula 17 pa yun, hindi pa kasama dito sa BARMM. So kung imbitahin natin yung BARMM na nag-implement ng project, hindi tinapos, imbitahin din natin lahat ng na-present doon na hindi tugma doon sa ginagawa. So yung kung meron Madam, recognize kung meron na represented galing sa Mayor ng Tawi-Tawi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Governor Sally. Okay, may I call on Congressman.
Madam Chair, gusto ko lang i-reiterate baka nagkaroon tayo ng mga misunderstanding sa process, no? Ang role namin sa committee at in fact nire-raise namin sa OPAP, katulad nung sinabi ng mga governors, katulad nung sinabi ni Musema, ang intent natin talaga mapabilis yung usapin sa kapayapaan. Sino ba namang ayaw? Lalo na ho kami. Ako nga kaya pumuputok ang butsi ko kasi hindi ko inaasahan na pumutok muli yung nangyayari sa Basilan ngayon. Okay lang ang Tawi-Tawi kasi hindi ho nakpaggirahan yan ng MILF eh. Kasi alam ko naman from the very start, ang Sulu at Tawi-Tawi, talagang kuta yan ng mga MNLF, even part ng Basilan. So kami, kumbaga yung ilan dito naging concern lang dahil marami-rami ang bilang ng MILF actually kung sa isla. Ang realidad niyan, nasa Basilan. In fact, nung ni-resume, nung panahon ni Pangulong Aquino ang usapan na to, tandaan natin nung nagkapugutan sa Albarca. Di ba maalala natin nung pinugutan yung mga kapatid nating sundalo doon ng ilang miyembro ng MILF, doon napabilis yung resumption ng usapan. So gusto kong i-put into record ang intent ng hearing na to purposely para maayos yung mga ilang gusot, halimbawa sa process ng mekanismo. Kasi meron tayong mechanism, syempre ang tanong natin, bakit ito nangyari despite the mechanism? Kasi gusto natin ma-address yung mga ilang punto na yon, no? So I hope hindi nyo kami na ma-misunderstood, lalong-lalo na yung mga nagsasabing na mga revolutionary group ko. But I would like to make it on record also. Kung nagsakripisyo ang ilan sa atin, kumbaga voluntarily ginawa natin yon dahil sa ating ideolohiya at paniniwala. Pero tandaan natin at the end of the day, mas lalong nagsasakripisyo yung mga tao na walang kamuwang-muwang sa mga pangyayari. Ako bilang kongresista ng Basilan, tingin ko kami rin dito, bilang hinalal ng ating mga kababayan, meron kaming obligasyon at the end of the day na dapat lagi interes ng tao na naghalal sa atin at ng ating mga ordinaryong kababayan, walang kamuwang-muwang. Hindi ho tayo nakibaka para yumaman. Hindi ho tayo nakibaka at nagjihad para magkaroon ng posisyon. Kung hindi nakibaka tayo at nagjihad tayo para sa ating mga kababayan. Yun yung dapat nating linawin. Hindi ho kailangan sabihin kami nagsakripisyo kami. Dapat ang usapin ng pakapayapaan at ang kapayapaan walang nagmamayari na isang organisasyon o isang leader sa ating bansa. Dapat pagmamayari ito ng ating mga kababayan para malinaw sa atin. With that, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, maraming salamat sa inyong pagdalo. I hope malinaw sa ating lahat ang interest natin ay pare-pareho para sa ating mga kababayan.
Thank you, Congressman Mujib Hataman. It has been a very fruitful meeting. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your time. We hope that you can attend our future meetings. And well, we still have a lot of issues to discuss in the future. So thank you. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair, before I raise the motion to adjourn, with all due respect to Governor Sali, sir, may we request na lang po yung mga mayors to have their position paper dahil meron po kaming session alas 2 po. And we are actually preparing, some of us here are preparing for the session later. So baka wala pong quorum, baka magsialisan po kami at mawala ng quorum. So may we request, Madam Chair, with all due respect to, of course, to Governor Sali, for our mayors, our dearest mayors from Tawi-Tawi to submit their position later. We will definitely, and we can assure that we will provide the necessary consideration po. So I move that we adjourn.
Madam Chair, ano lang, kahit para wala nang preparation ng anyway, mabot na tayo sa curriculum type. Pagbigyan na lang yung sa ground. Para ka lahat naman na mapagbigyan kasi yung
It's
10 minutes, 1 minute, okay naman.
wala po bang prepare, hindi po naka-prepare yung position paper nila? But then again, it's your call, Madam Chair, but in my case, I have to leave because kami po yung assigned mamaya ngayon sa plenaryo. Yung mga sa
Okay.
Thank you po, Madam Chair. Oh, isa.
Maybe we can call on one of the mayors. Mayor of Sapa, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Chairperson, Madam Shernee Tan-Tambut, members, sa lahat po ng mga nandito ngayon, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. It is our great pleasure and honor na to be invited dito sa face-to-face meeting concerning the current situations sa province sa BARMM. So, in behalf of the LGU of Sapa-Sapa, kasama ang mga iba't ibang mayors ng probinsya ng Tawi-Tawi, under the leadership ng Tawi-Tawi Governor Ismail Mangsali, we would like to convey our utmost support and cooperation po sa pag-strengthen and pag-propagate ng peace and order situation or program sa aming mga munisipyo or sa aming probinsya. So further, we pray that we may obtain proper coordination with pertinent government entities such as AFP, ang mga kapatid nating mga kapulisan, even the LGUs like ours, for the betterment of our community. So in line with this, we would like to implore and encourage everyone to express their support and cooperation po sa mga programa na may kinalaman sa pagkakaisa po natin sa BARMM. So sa lahat ng mga leaders ng BARMM na nandito ngayon, sa bawat programa, proyekto, o malasakit na binibigay po ninyo sa Bangsamoro, mas maganda po the faster the better. Bakit ba? Hindi naman po tayo sigurado kung mamaya o bukas nandito pa tayo. Kawawa naman ang mga constituents natin. Tama? So we just hope na more programs and projects to be rolled out in our community in the Bangsamoro. So rest assured that the province of Tawi-Tawi, being part of peaceful and deliberate society, laging handa sumuporta sa mga programang darating. So hindi ko napapahabain pa. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. May awa, bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Sally. Congressman Balindong, you have the motion. Objection, hearing none. The hearing is adjourned.